but Skip would always be the bad guy as it pertained to race. He wanted Max Kellerman to play that role as well. As Marcellus explained, Max Kellerman had no interest in that. And not only did he have no interest in that, he sat on air and giggled when Terrell Owens said that Max is blacker than you. He allowed that narrative to be built that could have been for Stephen A. Smith, who defined success by money and how much money he can earn. That's his worldview on what success looks like. What Max was doing could have very well cost Stephen A. Smith millions of dollars. These morning sports talk shows are built around catering to, I'm just keeping it real. I'm sorry for saying this, but it's just honest, and I'm sorry for if you can't handle the honesty, go watch something else. They're built around appealing to unemployed, emasculated black men. Period. That's what those shows are for. Guys that can be at home at 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern with nothing to do but watch sports. And it's built around black Twitter. Shannon Sharpe canceled Skip Bayless and completely undermined his credibility with a black audience that those shows are directed at. Stephen A. Smith justifiably felt like, oh, Max Kellerman's trying to do the same thing to me. And so he canceled Max Kellerman before Max Kellerman could cancel him. I'm not saying Max Kellerman was sitting around in his house every night going, how can I destroy Stephen A. Smith? How can I destroy Stephen A. Smith? But Max Kellerman is so committed to his shtick that he's the blackest white Jew in the history of America, that he came on that show every day and put Stephen A. Smith in a bad position. And Marcellus said, hey, they had good ratings and they were still number one. But Stephen A. Smith knew justifiably, I can do better than this. And what I'm doing right now is high risk and it's garbage and BS. I shouldn't be sitting on air with a white Jewish person who is doing a shtick of trying to prove that he's blacker than me. That will destroy my career. Stephen A. Smith did not want to be put in the desperate position of needing a Lil Wayne. And so he got rid of Max Kellerman before Max Kellerman could do any more damage to him. And I don't blame Stephen A. Smith for doing that. And I'm trying to walk a line. I'm not trying to demonize Max Kellerman because I don't think he's a bad guy. This is authentically who Max believes he is. Met him, hung out with him, had the conversations with him. One thing Marcellus is right about. Stephen A. Smith is not equipped to go toe-to-toe in a debate with Max Kellerman. He's not. Max and his Ivy League degree and all that other stuff. Stephen A. Smith, graduated from an HBCU. And again, according to Marcellus, I wasn't aware, had some learning disability problems in a younger age. Can't out-debate Max Kellerman. But Stephen A. Smith does have common sense. And if you watch this show, and I'm not remotely trying to be disrespectful to Max or Marcellus, but if you listen to this show, me and Ivy League elites, that ain't really my thing. They got nice vocabularies and all that. And Marcellus, I think he is really smart and does have common sense and has street sense from growing up in Compton. And I'm watching his podcast show, and I think it's really, really good. We're seeing Marcellus turn into a really solid, strong individual broadcasting talent. Getting knocked off of FS1 or choosing to leave FS1 over the long haul is going to make Marcellus a better broadcaster. The things he's leaning into, heavy, family, supportive kids, his relationship with his son and his other kids and his wife and all that, great for his brand. When I watch Marcellus's podcast maybe more than any other podcast out there. I can't believe I'm saying, but that's true. I catch a lot of this stuff, and I'm sitting there like, wow, this dude is finding his lane and is really taking off. But he's still got that Columbia in him. And he still, in my view, doesn't have what Max was actually doing and what makes Max unintentionally dangerous. He doesn't have it figured out. And as I told you all last week, I had a white executive at ESPN tell me from the jump when there was conversations, because right before I left ESPN the last time, or got fired, whatever you want to call it, I was talking with Colin Cowherd about doing a show together at ESPN. And there were people say, oh, no, you should do it with Max Kellerman. And Max Kellerman and I had some brief conversations. And I told you all, a white executive who knew me and Max well, was like, no, man, don't do that. That guy's going to sit on air and try to prove he's blacker than you every day. A white executive told me that. And I was like, ooh, good note. And me and Cowherd, we did a test show right before I left or right before I got fired and went back to Fox Sports. And then me and Cowherd, Cowherd soon followed me over to Fox Sports, and we ended up doing Speak for Yourself together, even though that was not the original plan. We're supposed to get individual shows. And that would be my other point as it relates to Stephen A. Smith and why he's choosing not to be honest, because he can't be honest. He wants to be popular, and he wants the world and Black Twitter and all these people that really don't matter to love him and like him so that he can protect his bag.